Welcome. I'm sorry.
I was expecting the
I was waiting for the music to start, guys. So I'm so sorry. Welcome to Empress News. Thank you all for joining us. I'm Natalie Rowe
Neidy Hornsby. Sorry, y'all. There's a delay over here.
Yeah. So we are very excited to have you all join us today as we talk to every show. We talk to multifaceted women who are building generational wealth. They're undertaking different ventures and embracing their many titles. So today we have with us a very special guest. We have London Miller.
Hi.
London, as you can see, is a little younger than the guest that we've had on the show. And we're very excited for her perspective and what she has to share with us.
So I have to tell you, I am so excited to do this show with you. So usually we're meeting with women like in our age group, right? Yes. Who are doing all the things. But This is the first time that we're meeting with like a young leader. You're only, 11?
Yes.
Who's doing all the things, right? So you're such an incredible example. I have my kids watching because, they need to know that entrepreneurship is possible at any age. So thank you so much for being here.
Yes. Tell us, London, what are some of your titles? So you're a sister, you're an entrepreneur,
a daughter.
Yeah. An author.
Of course.
I don't think there's any. Wait, I'm a granddaughter.
Yeah.
I have proud grandparents, especially my granddad. He's always commenting on like posts that I have 24/7
on your social media.
Yeah, you can't get them off.
So shout out granddad while we're talking about him. Tell him hi.
Hi, if you're watching.
It's okay if he's not watching. You can always go back and show it to him. It's gonna be on Facebook. So you could go back and show them the video.
So you're an author, an entrepreneur, a daughter, a sister,
a student.
What grade are you in?
I'm going to 6th grade.
Going into 6th grade.
Going to 6th grade.
Sadly.
That's a new venture that you're going into middle school. So that's good. That's good. So let's talk a little bit about how you started Londonade. That's the name of your company.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about how Londonade came to be.
So this stall that I had, I had to replace it, and then there was a bunch of kids at the mall. They were selling stuff. So once I saw that, I asked my parents if I could have a lemonade stand. They got me that for Christmas, and then from there, I started building up.
And how old were you when you started that?
When I got the lemonade stand, I was 9.
When you were 9.
Wow. So you've been doing this now for a couple of years?
Yeah, like 3.
That's incredible.
That's really good.
So one of the things that I love about what you just said is that you went to your parents with an idea of wanting a lemonade stand, and they supported you. You guys can't see them, but they're Mom and Dad are in the room as well. Which is amazing that they basically poured into you at 9 years old, and you continued on until now. Do you so can you tell us a little bit? So you've been doing it for a couple of years. So how is that?
It's going good. I'm building up. We're working on a few things, like getting my lemonade into other stores. And also, when I grow up, I want to be a fashion designer. So I'm hoping I can get all of this into like the fashion industry.
Okay, you said other stores.
Yeah.
So that means that Londonade is currently in stores. What stores can we find Londonade?
Well, it's only in one currently, Williams Grocery Store
in Richmond Heights?
Yeah. That's huge, though.
That's a really good thing. Where else can people find Londonade before we move on to something else?
Also, on my website, we now have it because we didn't have it before, but we worked on it. So we have it online. If you want... I'm sorry. You can order it locally, but then other places you can only get like four different flavors: Cruisin', Cotton Candy, Nacho Granny,
Cotton Candy lemonade.
Tell us your website because we want people to be able to find you. So what's your website?
MyLondonAid.com.
MyLondonAid.com.
That is such a cute name. So I have to tell you, what I do outside of the show is that I help women, protect their brands through, intellectual property and trademark, all those boring things that we're not going to talk about now. But I'm always impressed by the names that people come up with for their brands. And yours is so adorable because essentially it's your name with lemonade. I thought that was so creative. Yeah. I really love that.
And really simple.
About my website. So I have my upcoming events, my merch, my book.
Merch.
Tell us about your merch.
So I have on one of these London Motivated to Inspire bracelets. It's the yellow one.
You got one
the yellow one, yes. So London and her parents brought us gift bags full of goodies today. Yeah. Nadi's already been able to go into hers and put her bracelet on.
I had to put my bracelet on because it's so cute.
I have one right here.
Yes.
I have a bunch
we can find that on your website as well. We can find the yellow bracelet and the bangle bracelet on your website.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's more than lemonade. It's also these bracelets. What else do you have on the website?
I have my book.
A book.
Let's talk about a book,
girl.
Tell us a little bit about your book. What's the name of it?
The name of my book is Eden's World: The Start of Something New. And it's the girl in the book. She's a reflection of me. So she goes through these things like going to a new school because she's been homeschooled her whole life in the book. And then she has to make new friends. She also has ADHD like I do in real life. So that's a big challenge.
Okay. So she started a new school. She went from being homeschooled to going to school.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what happens on her journey in the book. Just a little bit, so.
Because I don't want to tell the whole book.
No, just a little bit.
But
true businesswoman. You gotta buy the book for the whole story.
To buy the book, but just a little nugget, so they'll go to the site and buy it.
So there's like a lot that happens. She goes through a whole bunch of challenges. Well, not a whole bunch, but challenges. So going to this whole new school after she's been homeschooled her whole life is kind of hard because she won't know anybody there. Mm-hmm. And it's a whole new school. She's basically been cramped up in a house, deprived of being social. Mm-hmm. So going to a whole new school is going to be hard for her and making new friends. And then but she has this one friend, her neighbor Allie. That's one thing that she has that might help her.
Okay. That's good. So you mentioned a little bit about challenges. Can you tell us some of the challenges you faced in starting a business, not just your lemonade stand, but with writing a book, with your merchandise?
Well, there's a lot of things that people said I can't do because I have ADHD. Number one, I have low attention span, so I don't pay attention for very long sometimes. And that caused me to get kicked off of a cheerleading team I was on. They wanted to send me to the team with the babies, and I was like 9 years old.
Okay. And so how did you overcome that particular challenge?
Well, number one, I left. Number two, see what I said, I don't pay attention for very long, meaning I ignore a lot of things that people say.
That's really good.
That's one thing that I really needed to ignore. I didn't need
that might be a superpower.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a challenge. I think it's a superpower. That'll come in handy a lot in life.
Trust me on that one.
Okay, keep going. Go ahead.
And then there's, like, my whole life, a lot of people said there's things that I can't do. It's not just that. So it's like all that negative energy, it could have weighed me down.
It sounds like, though, you've used it to change the world.
Literally change the world.
Little by little. That's what it sounds like to me from sitting here with the book and with your merchandise and with the lemonade. So I think that's really cool. So tell me, do you have any piece of advice that you would give to other entrepreneurs?
Hold on. So I think there's a little inspirational thing in the back of my book, so I'm just going to read from that.
Go for it.
At first, I thought about giving up, but I didn't. And neither should you. I hope this taught a lesson. Never give up on your dream. If you want something to happen, you have to do your part to make it happen.
I love that so much. Look at the comments so far. Somebody says so proud of her. Somebody else said that they love the name of the brand.
Oh, they said they want the goodies too. Yeah. Oh, that's Sharon. Okay. We'll see.
So proud of you, little queen. My 6-year-old doesn't have to look far for inspiration. Oh, I love that.
That's for you. Keep dreaming bigger. Can't wait to see your products in Whole Foods.
I totally agree with that comment. As a mom of 3, I'm so
thank you, George. George says that he loves you.
I'm so inspired by your story, right? I think that it takes a lot of dedication and courage to start. So you know how many adults start businesses that, just for whatever reason, life happens, don't succeed or they don't follow through. I think that there's so much to be learned from your perseverance and your commitment to the vision. I think that's incredible.
I do too. So tell me, if there's one lesson that you've learned so far, what would that lesson be?
That doing all this is helping me inspire people, and that I should keep doing that, because wherever I find the motivation, I will be able to inspire other people and motivate them to do something good.
Love it. I love it. And so I first want to say, before I say something to you, Mom and Dad, you guys are doing an excellent job, because this representation of you guys is amazing. So what you guys are doing, please keep doing it.
And jot it down for me.
Keep doing it. Like, you guys can teach a master class.
Also, there's stuff that I do, like giving back to the less fortunate. I once, for this Christmas event, a fundraiser, we raised enough money to buy socks, toys like scooters, bicycles. For the we also bought blankets. I can't forget that, but we bought that and we gave it to kids, families.
And you did that for Christmas? Is that something that you will do on an ongoing basis, or that was a one time?
Like she has now.
Yeah.
The back to school drive.
You're having a back to school drive.
How can people help?
Yes.
You can go to my website, and I think it's there somewhere.
Yeah.
Is it on the website, Mom?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is?
Okay.
Or if they want to just do a donation, they can cash out her.
And what's your Cash App?
My London Aid.
My London Aid. Love it. It's so simple. Everything is the same. So if someone wants to donate to the back to school drive, they can go to My London Aid on IG, and they can also go to mylondonaid.com, or they can Cash App you directly at My London Aid. I got it? Okay, My London Aid.
Can we put that? Oh, it's on
right
screen,
there on the
so
screen.
That's awesome.
Yes, we want to, be able to help as much as possible.
I also got a card that has a bunch of stuff on it.
Can you put it up so we can see it?
Oh, on this
camera right here.
Yeah, point to this camera. There
if it'll show, I don't know if it'll show.
I think the glare, but what?
It's on the Instagram.
What is that for the donations?
No, it's
just like a card, everything. It
even
has my mom's number on it.
So if someone wants to get in contact with you, because My London Aid is also mobile, right? So you go to different community events and you still do the lemonade stand. Right? Okay. So if someone wants to book you for that, they can go to your website, they can go to your IG, or they can contact your mom, whose number is on the website. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, perfect.
And I also, not just for my business, but I go to church and I participate in these events.
I can't.
That they like, once I did this backpack drive. And I also go to church sometimes on like Sundays and all that. And I help out with the little kids because they're a lot. They're a handful.
They are a handful. Yes.
Every time I see a child and I think they're cute, I think about it and I'm like, no.
For the first few minutes, they are.
Yes, and
there's a lot of different personalities, too. But I'm just glad I get. So whoever the caretaker is, I help them. I help them with the children.
Mm-hmm.
Like help give out snacks or get them to calm down a little bit because they could be out of control.
This is a lot. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
so I was going to
really
say, like, one of the things that I'm always very interested in knowing from our guests is, like, how do you do all the things? So how do you, like, because you still have school. So how do you fit all of this amazing stuff that you're doing into the fact that you still have to, go to school, keep your grades up and all of that?
So my mom, she's very good with technology, better than me somehow. I don't know why, but she schedules this stuff. So she has stuff scheduled for like each day. She keeps track of everything, and then I have to participate.
Yeah,
obviously. So
mom is
she kind of handles.
Yeah.
She does all the advertising and all that.
So she keeps you organized.
Yes. She's like the glue.
Oh, she's the glue. I love that.
Did you hear that? What an amazing term. That is beautiful.
Yes.
It's such a blessing that you get to do this with your mom and your dad. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, especially at such a young age. And the fact that you aren't just doing it for yourself, but that you're using your gifts and your talents to give back to people and to your community is huge. Because there are some people that are older than us that haven't yet figured out that it's great to give and not just
or receive. They figured it out but see no value
or see no value,
right? So you've learned that at an early age that what's the I should know this, to whom much is given much is required.
Yes.
So that's amazing. I read in the notes founder. Is that founder of the business, or is that like a charity, a nonprofit?
London Aid. Yeah, the founder
of the business. Okay, got it.
Yes.
I got confused for a second.
It's okay. Mom, is there any other information that we need to make sure London conveys?
Not that I can think of.
Can I say something?
Of course.
Yes, of course.
So people really need to know this. If you don't, so I went to church and they talked about something. So this lady, she was very poor. She barely had anything. And then these rich people, they were giving like a portion of their money to those to the poor people. And then this lady who barely had anything, she went up to one person and gave everything she had, even though she barely had anything.
Yeah.
And then
yes, because her gift was more of a sacrifice because she had less to give than those who were rich and had a lot to give. Like if you have a lot to give and you to give it, it's not necessarily a stretch.
Yeah,
it doesn't necessarily require faith to give $1 if I have 100.
Right.
But if all I have is $2 and I give you $1, that's faith, and that's like a real sacrifice.
That's what I want to do. So, one example of how people say, my friends sometimes say I'm too kind. I once went to Bahamas with my parents. I had $40, so that was $2.20s. This kid, he was drumming. I saw only $2 in his bucket, so I pulled out a 20 and put it in there. And my parents realized, and they're like, "London, what did you give him?" I'm like, "Money," and they're like, "But you only had $2.20, so does that mean?" And they looked back, and the little boy was gone. He was no longer sitting there.
Like, I got
the drumming
stopped.
I
don't need it.
The drumming stopped. You couldn't hear anything. It was
he got what he needed.
They're sitting there like, "London, I know you want to give him something, but next time, just tell us before."
But so we can give you some change.
But the thing is, he might have to pay to go to school or
right.
get some new clothes. So I had no regrets about that.
Right. And that's good. And so I think about, like, as you were talking, I think about Shaquille O'Neal and Tyler Perry. They give all the time, right? Like even things that we don't even know about and hear about, they give. And the thing about it is they'll never be broke because they're always giving and always helping someone else. So there's a scripture that says the more you give, the more you receive, right? So if you're continuously giving and trying to help, God is going to continue to give to you because he knows he can trust you when he gives you something, not to hold it, but to give it and to help other people. So you continue to give and to have that heart. Listen to your parents, but also continue to give. I'm sorry, I'm a parent. I have to put that in there. But continue to give and to help people. There, you'll never go wrong.
I didn't regret giving that $20.
Good. You'll never go wrong, and you'll never go broke. I don't think when you're giving, just like out of the goodness of your heart, like that. It's always going to come back.
You are so inspirational.
Yeah.
And your heart is so beautiful. Like, it's palpable. I'm sure that
it runs through my family. We all have giving hearts. My mom told me that my brother stopped in the middle of the middle of a road to help somebody. My mom was sitting there calling him. He wasn't answering. He download. She always worries about where he is, so he downloaded an app on her phone so she knows where he is. He wasn't answering. He was in one place for so long. My mom got scared, and then when my brother finally called her back, my mom was like, "What happened? Why were you in one area for so long? I was worried about you." My brother was helping somebody who had to fix their car.
So it's been modeled for you.
It's in the family. So what I hear, without it being said, is that mom and dad are givers and they help people, and you guys have seen it. And you're just doing what you've already seen your parents, your grandparents do.
So it runs in
the family. So when you do it, they shouldn't be surprised because you're just doing the same thing you saw them do. Let that be a lesson to us parents.
Yeah.
It's what they see us do.
Yeah.
It's what our kids see us do and not just what they hear us say that they're going to pick up and they're going to emulate. Thank you, London, for being with us today.
This was such a treat for me, for sure, and for everybody watching.
Yes.
I feel so inspired and motivated to do better.
As adults, you're helping us to do better and to be better.
Yeah, so thank you for being here.
Nady, do you have a Guard Your Genius for us today?
So we have a question that came in this week from, a fellow entrepreneur, multifaceted woman who wanted to know is there a difference between a DBA and a registered trademark? And we covered this before, but this will never get old. It's so important that you know that a DBA essentially is just a fictitious name, right? That you register with your state. So let's say that your corporation is ABC Inc., but you're operating under My Lemonade, right? My Londonade, meaning your public facing brand is different from what you registered. That is not a trademark, right? A trademark has a separate process. And once you register your trademark, you are basically protecting your brand on a national level. So there is a huge difference between a DBA and actually filing for a registered trademark. I thought it was a great question because it comes up so often. People feel like, I have a DBA. I'm good. I don't need a registration for my trademark, but that is not the case.
Totally separate. You can have a DBA, but you want to get that registered trademark to protect your brand.
Absolutely.
That lesson learned. Got it. We got it. So, London, tell us once again, where can we find you on Instagram, your website, your Cash App? What is it?
So, on Instagram at MyLondonade. On Twitter?
Everything is My London.
Yeah, everything.
There it is. It's up on the screen.
That's easy to remember. So, it's on the screen, and that's how you find her across all platforms.
Yeah, so, guys, donate to London's Back to School drive.
Yes.
Order some of her merch off of her website. Support this young entrepreneur and what she's doing to change lives all across South Florida. We're so excited, London.
I can't wait to see London at 20, right?
Listen, forget 20. I can't wait to see London at 16.
I have an ID, and it says we'll reach the age of 21 at 2032.
It'll be here in no time.
It'll go this fast.
And I can't wait to see, how many books and how many businesses and how many charities you've started by then.
And the lives you've impacted.
Yeah, you're amazing. So thank you for sharing your light.
And Mom and Dad, you all keep it up as well. What you're doing. Thank you. So thank you all for joining us again this week for another episode of Empress News. Sisters, remember to wear your crowns, wear them well. And if you have to take your crown off and put it down because you're tired, that's fine.
That's okay too, and important.
Yes, take care of yourselves. We'll see you all again next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.